Oleh karena itu, kepada tukang ojek, kepada supir taksi yang sedang kredit kendaraan bermotor dan kredit mobil, nelayan yang sedang kredit perahu tidak perlu khawatir, pembayaran bunga dan angsuran diberikan kelonggaran 1 tahun. Dan pihak perbankan maupun industri keuangan non-bank dilarang mengejar-ngejar angsuran, apalagi menggunakan jasa penagihan atau debt collector. Itu dilarang, dan saya minta kepolisian mencatat hal ini.
Hello everyone, welcome to Group 3, and here I'm Afifa Apriliyani as a Group Leader 3, and 4 group members, Aulia Raamdhani, Nunny Chania, and Nabiila Wahfaa. In this video, we will talk about restructuring credit.
The impact of the coronavirus disease 2019 pandemic hit the national economy in various layers, especially the business world. Different from the previous crisis, the micro, small, and medium business, as we call the MSMEs, is one of the most segments affected by coronavirus disease pandemic. Not only MSMEs, the corporate sector was also significantly affected by the pandemic. This condition certainly has a domino effect on the other industries, including the financial services industries, such as banks and financial companies. Therefore, financial companies or banks are the source of the funding for the business activity. The COVID-19 pandemic, which caused the cessation of community business activities, which caused the risk of non-performing loans in the financial services industry. As one of the ways to anticipate avoiding high non-performing loans, there is a debt restructuring policies for business actors or debtors. The debt restructuring provisions are listed in the Financial Services Authority Regulations Number 11, 2020, concerning national economic stimulus for the countercyclical policies. In these rules, there are requirements for debtors to apply for debt restructuring.
In early March 2020, the government and OJK issued a credit restructuring policy, which has several schemes in its implementation, including lowering interest rates, reducing loan interest rates, extending the credit period, and extending the grace period. The issuance of OJK Regulation Number 11 POJK.03/2020 concerning national economic stimulus as a countercyclical policy on the impact of the spread of COVID-19 is direct at providing space for debtors who did perform well before the COVID-19 pandemic. But due to this pandemic, these debtors have difficulty in making repayments of their debt. This policy is directed to become a countercyclical policy. The countercyclical policy is a policy that goes against the flow of the business cycle by issuing a credit restructuring policy as a measure to anticipate the impact of COVID-19. The development of the spread of coronavirus disease 2019 or COVID-19 has a direct or indirect impact on the performance and capacity of debtors, including micro, small, and medium business or UMKM debtors, thus potentially disrupting banking performance and financial system stability, which can affect economic growth. Second, improvement of credit or financing quality goes well after restructuring during the validity period of POJK. This restructuring provision can be applied by the bank regardless of credit or financing ceiling limits or the type of debtor. The restructuring policy provides space for debtors who are past for cash flow. The determination of the credit relaxation mechanism is fully left to the banking sector, and its determination is in accordance with the result of the bank's identification of the debtor's financial performance and the payment capacity of debtors affected by COVID-19. The stimulus policy consists of first, assessment of the quality of credit or financing or other provision of funds is only based on accuracy of principal and or interest payments for credit or financing other provision of funds with a ceilings of up to 10 billion rupiah. Therefore, to encourage the optimizations of the banking intermediation function, maintain financial system stability, and support economic growth, an economic stimulus policy is needed as a countercyclical impact on the spread of COVID-19.
Based on Financial Service Authority Regulation Number 11 POJK.3 2020 concerning the national economic stimulus as a policy impact of coronavirus distribution. To encourage optimize the banking intermediation function, maintain financial system stability and supporting economic growth, a stimulus policy is needed economic as an impact of the spread of COVID-19. The main point of POJK regulation on the stimulus of the impact of COVID-19 include 1. Bank can implement policies that support growth stimulus economic for debtors affected by the spread of COVID-19 include UMKM debtors while still paying attention to the principle of prudence. 2. Debtor affected by the spread of COVID-19 include the debtor or debtors business is either affected by the spread of COVID-19 directly or indirectly in the economic sector, among others, tourism, transportation, hospitality, trade, processing, and the agriculture. Number 3, the method of restructuring credit or financing is carried out as stimulated in OJK regulation regarding asset quality assessment, among others, by 1. Lower interest rate, 2. Extension of period, 3. Reduction of principal areas, 4. Reduction of interest areas, 5. Additional credit, 6. Conversion of credit. Number 4, bank can provide new credit or financing or provision of funds to debtors who have received special treatment in accordance with this POJK by determining the quality of credit or financing or other provision of funds carried out speedily with the quality of credit or financing or provision of funds other before. The last, number 5, the bank submits periodic reports on the application of this POJK for monitoring supervisor since the position of data at the end of April 2020.
Hola guys, thank you Aulia who is already telling us about latest regulation regarding to restructuring, and now I'm Nabiila Wahfaa would like to telling you about qualification of parties that achieve restricted based on OJK policy. So let's jump to our last topic. First of all, you must know is debitor who receives special treatment in this POJK are debitor including UMKM debitor who have difficulty fulfilling obligation to the bank because the debitor business is affected by COVID-19, either directly or indirectly affected in the economic sector including tourism, transportation, hospitality, trade, processing, agriculture, and mining. The POJK clearly stipulates that in principle, bank can restrict all credit or financing to all the debitor, including UMKM debitor, as long as these debitors are identified as being affected by COVID-19, giving special treatment regardless of credit or financing ceiling limit. Now I'm going to tell you about restructuring requirements. First of all, debitors are required to submit a restructuring application complete with the data requested by the bank or lease, which can be submitted online, by email or website set by the bank or leasing without having to come face to face. For the second one is the bank or leasing will conduct an assessment, among others, on whether the debitor is directly or indirectly affected, historical principal or interest payment, clarity of vehicle ownership, especially for leasing. And for the last one is bank or leasing provide restructuring based on debitor profile to determine the restructuring pattern or time extension, the amount that can be restructured, including if there is still the ability to pay installment, whose value is through an assessment and or discussion between the debitor and the bank or leasing. This of course take into account the income of the debitor who are affected by COVID-19. Information on restructuring approval from the bank or lease is submitted online or via relevant bank or lease website. So just that's it. Thank you for watching and see you in our next video. Bye bye.